Fourth box we get to is the solution. This is where you describe what you're going to build and offer to the market to make that problem go away. So as you're describing the solution, frame it from the viewpoint of what you put in your customer segment, what you describe as the problem, and what you describe as the value. Next, we think about channels. Channels are how do you get your offer, your product to market? How do you activate people? How do you get them aware of what you're building? How do you get them aware of the problem? Sometimes you have to teach them the problem exists. So what mechanism are you going to use to teach them? What mechanism are you going to use to get their eyeballs, their attention? And then what mechanism are you going to use to close the deal? Basically get their wallet out. Because until you can figure out how to get somebody's wallet out, you do not have a business, you have a hobby. Hobbies are awesome, but they tend to be funded through other sources and they tend to have limited duration. So this is about building a business. And ultimately you need to figure out how to attract somebody to pay you money. And the channels are the mechanisms you do that. Next we think about cost structure and revenue. Notice here how late these are. These are boxes 6 and 7 in here. In a normal business plan, you focus on these two boxes first. You think of profit and loss. Again, for scalable high-tech companies, the math around profit and loss is not the biggest risk initially. You build a product that people want with the typical margins that are associated with high-tech businesses, and I will guarantee you the math will work out. Now in the margins it may not. As you start to scale, you may hit bumps, but initially, the biggest initial problem is the shape of the revenue and cost has to make sense, but not necessarily the details. So how do we dive into this? I like to think about businesses and from a standpoint of their business equation. If you were to be kind of a math geek about your business and write an equation that represents the money coming in and the money going out, what would that equation be? So for subscription type businesses, the most simplistic form of that equation is your revenue is what you charge monthly times the number of subscribers. So here this forces you to figure a couple things out. What are the financial dimensions of the business? Is this a subscription? How are we charging our customers? What is sort of the unit that we're using? Dollars per something. So here it's dollars per month, but it could be dollars per activation. It could be dollars per ad. It could be dollars per click. These helps you understand, okay, what are the fundamental units that are involved in the revenue side of this business? As you think about subscriptions, there's a built-in often churn with subscriptions. So your goal is to add new subscribers while retaining as many subscribers as you currently have. So if we go one layer deeper into just this number of subscribers equation, we see there's 3 subcomponents to that part of the equation. And then if we dig into that a little bit, as we think of the existing subscribers, we figure out, okay, what's our potential churn rate on those, like per month, how many people are gonna say goodbye to us? And then we figure out what are the various channels that we're going to try to get new subscribers onto the system here. So if we think of like subs current times % churn, so that's how many are falling off, that's a negative number if you represent churn negatively. Then new subscribers through the Google channel, new subscribers through the Facebook channel, new subscribers through brick and mortar channels. So this helps you now decompose down like, oh, well, how exactly are we gonna get customers in the door? And then finally, as you think about getting new customers into the door, you start to think about, okay, well, if we're gonna get this number of subscribers from the Google channel, how much traffic do we need to create on the Google channel, and what's the % likelihood that those are gonna convert? So now we see a little bit deeper down into the marketing funnel about what money are we gonna have to spend on pay-per-click to get a certain amount of traffic seeing our presence on the web, and then what percentage of that traffic is going to convert into a trial or a new subscriber. So you see how this kind of drills down into various levels of math that help you decompose your business. Again, this isn't like the 15-page Excel spreadsheet financial model. We'll get to that eventually. This is just at the very high level, what are the mechanics? How are we making money? How does money come in? And then there's an equivalent side of this for how does money go out. And so what you get out of that is these blue numbers here, which are the inputs. The black ones are sort of carried down equations from or constants. So this helps you use a mathematical methodology to go from, hey, how does our business make money, into what are the cost and revenue sides of the business. You don't want to take it any more detailed than this. Just think about what's the business equation, and then capture that business equation into the cost and revenue boxes on the bottom of the canvas.